Welcome to Tint and Tone range. This range is packed with ingredients like aloe vera to help soothe the scalp and coconut oil to keep the hair soft while coloring. This range is a hybrid coloring system, so depending on your oxidant choice and your mixing ratio, you can turn it from a permanent color into an alkaline demi-permanent color. There are 99 tubes in the range, and the color is broken down into categories of cool, warm, and specialty colors on the color chart. When you lift up the color tab on the color chart, it will show you that we have a color pre-made for you, or if we don't, how to create it by mixing two colors together. The reflex in Biosthetique are 0 or N for natural, 1 or A for ash, 2 or B for beige. Now beige is a mixture of all of our cool shades, but it doesn't have as much density as the other colors. Our 3 or G is for gold, our 4 or C is for copper, 5 or R for red, 6 or M for mahogany, 7 or V for violet, 8 or MG meaning matte green. We also have a 9 or a pearl, and that's only going to be in color and gloss and in shine and tone. Pearl is a mixture of ash and violet, but again, same as beige, doesn't have as much density as the other colors do. We have 4 oxidants in the permanent color range that we call tint lotions. We have one in the demi-permanent range we called a tone lotion. The tint lotions are a 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume, or if you go by percents, a 3%, 6%, 9%, and 12%. Our tone lotion is a 6.4 volume or a 1.9%. Your 10 volume or 3% you would use any time you are going 2 or more shades darker. The processing time for that is 30 minutes. 20 volume or 6% is for gray coverage or up to 1 level of lift. The processing time is 35 minutes. 30 volume or 9% is when you need resistant gray coverage or up to 2 levels of lift, and the processing time is 40 minutes. And lastly, our 40 volume 12% is for 3 to 4 levels of lift and will have a processing time of 50 minutes. Now, to use Tint and Tone as a permanent color, our mixing ratio is going to be 1 part color and 1.5 parts oxidant. So, if we had 30 grams of color, that's going to make it 45 grams of oxidant. Now, you can also make Tint and Tone a demi-permanent color. When creating a demi-permanent color, we use tone lotion, 6.4 volume or 1.9%, and we mix that 1 part color to 2 parts tone lotion. So our mixture is going to be 20 grams of color to 40 grams of tone lotion oxidant. Demi-permanent colors are fantastic for toners, helping to refresh faded ends, or even an all-over color with no gray or gray blending. The processing time as a demi-permanent color is up to 20 minutes. We have a unique product called Care Additive. This is going to be used to help reduce the alkalinity of Tint and Tone. It uses wheat proteins and amino acids to add extra care into dry and damaged hair, as well as stopping any shifting on the natural base. To use, you're going to mix 1 part color and anywhere between 0.5 to 2 parts Care Additive together, and then you're going to add in 2 part oxidant tone lotion. So let's have an example. If we have 10 grams of color, then we would add in anywhere from 5 grams to 20 grams of Care Additive. We will mix those two together, and after they're mixed, we would add in 20 grams of tone lotion. We have 3 different shade options for gray coverage. Now, these all have the same amount of coverage, but they're going to have different undertones. We call these bases. Our natural is a neutral to ash undertone. Our gold is a warm undertone, and our intensives are neutral to olive undertone. It's important to keep in mind with our intensive series, our 8, 9, and 10 will give you extra lift on dark hair with more of a gray blended coverage. When deciding how much base to add into each formula, we like to break it down into percentages of gray. So we work on 0 to 50% gray hair and 50% to 100% gray hair. If you have under 50% gray hair, we recommend to use 1 part base, so your natural gold or intensives, to 2 parts your target color. So as an example, if we have a client who's come in, she's a natural level 6 and our target level is a 6 with an ash undertone. She has under 50% gray hair, so our formula would be 10 grams of 6 natural, 20 grams of 6 ash. This gives us a total color mixture of 30 grams. So we would add in 45 grams of 20-vol 6% oxidant. If your client has over 50% gray, then we would recommend to use half of your base, so natural gold or intensive, and half the target reflect. As an example, if your client has a natural level 6 and their target color is a level 6 ash with over 50% gray, we would mix 15 grams of 6 natural and 15 grams of 6 ash. This would give us a total color mixture of 30 grams, and we would add in 45 grams of 20 volume 6%. If your client has resistant gray hair, you can change your mixing ratio to a 1-to-1. So that would mean 1 part color, and we would use 1 part 9% 30 volume with a processing time of 40 minutes. Now, I know it sounds a little different, but trust me, it works great and you won't end up with a hot root.